What is a tariff and how does tariff affect all of us? China, 67%. That's tariff charged to the USA, including currency, manipulation, and trade barriers. Now, let's say we have this gentleman called Stanley. Now, Stanley goes to the supermarket and he wanted to buy a recycle bag that looks something like this. Now, 3 months ago, when he goes to the same supermarket, it cost him $5 to buy this bag. And the reason why he could buy it at $5 is because this bag was imported from China. China first row. China. So China sell this bag to the supermarket at $3, and the supermarket could mark up by another $2, which is why this supermarket could make a profit of $2 and Stanley only buys it for $5. Now, what if Donald Trump charged $2 of tax, which is in fact called the tariff over here? So what's going to happen is, same thing, Walmart or supermarket will import in at $3, but the unfortunate thing is the China manufacturer has to pay an additional $2 of tax, which is the tariff. So total cost is actually $5. And in order for the supermarket to make the same $2, they have to sell at $7, which is why when Stanley goes to the supermarket right now to buy the same bag, he has to pay $2 more, which is this $7. In other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So now the question is, why does Donald Trump want to do so? He wanted to do so because he wants to make America great again. I think his objective is to increase jobs in the US, and hopefully all the foreign or China manufacturer would attempt to bypass the high tariff so that they could set up their manufacturing plant in US. And if they really do that, probably jobs will increase and then the Americans will become rich. Unfortunately, there's a side effect of such an initiative is because that could result in very high inflation, and the worst case is possibly a bear market or a recession. And then there's another possibility is the foreign investment could choose not to open their plant in US by finding an alternate target audience or customers. If that's the case, actually nobody wins. So if we look back at the past 50 years, these are all the tariff and trade wars that has happened in the past, and you realize that actually in the long term it really has a bad ending. Now let me share with you what I observed in the short term. In the short term, right, the tariff often protect domestic industry temporarily, but in the long term, which are the bad side effects? Number one, some other countries which are affected by the high tariff may choose to retaliate against the US. Right now you can see the retaliation carried out by China against US, and of course a possible increased inflation, in which I already explained. Businesses may adapt by bypassing the tariff, choosing other countries as their target audience instead of selling to US. And of course, at least based on the past, most trade wars end with negotiation or WTO ruling. But again, all these things are based on the past. Everything has to be really observed on a case-by-case basis, and nobody really knows what's going to happen, right? To the most recent tariff war. I think the best protection for individuals or consumers like us is really to have some savings. That's number one. And number two, right, is really to invest. In case you do not know, the best time to invest is during a trade war, because that may trigger off a bear market or a recession. So again, I would like to hear your thoughts about the recent tariff war. Please comment on this video politely and respectfully, and I shall see you in the next video. See you soon. Goodbye. If you look at that, China, first row. China, 67%. That's tariff charged to the USA, including currency, manipulation, and trade barriers. So 67%, we are going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. In other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anyone be upset? China.